Zambia is a country known to be a haven of peace within and beyond its borders. The motto, One Zambia, One Nation, has held the people and country together. The Zambian army, in collaboration with the citizens, has maintained peace and security under the mission statement to provide for defense, security, development and prosperity of a sovereign Zambia. Because of the peace the country enjoys, it has groomed an army which has become a cherished tool for enforcing peace and stability in other countries by the United Nations. With impeccable international accolades etched on Zambia's name as warriors of peace in Africa and beyond, Zambia was again requested by the world body, the UN, to send peacekeepers to the Central African Republic following the disruption of peace when on 10 December 2012, the Seleka rebel coalition picked up arms to fight the government of President Francois Bozize, accusing him of failing to abide by the peace agreements signed in 2007 and 2011. These rebel factions took control of major towns in the central and eastern regions of the country. Since then, the security situation deteriorated, resulting in rape cases, torture, extrajudicial killings, and over 200,000 people internally displaced. To ensure smooth execution of the UN mandate in the mission area, the Zambia Army troops underwent strenuous and tactical training before deployment.
The training will not be downgraded. What is required of you is total dedication to training. Be interested in whatever will be taking place in Nanking. If you take it lightly, there will be problems in the mission area.
In response to the UN request, on 30th April 2015, the 1st Zambian Battalion was deployed in Central African Republic under Chapter 7 of the United Nations Multidimensional Integrated Stabilization Mission in Central African Republic, MINUSCA. Lieutenant Colonel Kelvin Chiyangi now explains.
The 1st Zambian Battalion, Zambia 1, deployed in the Central African Republic on 13th April 2015. I arrived here with 750 troops, and I stayed in the capital, Bangui, for exactly 1 month. Then in May, there was a requirement to deploy in the east where all the other contingents were scared to go. And this is a place which was heavily infested with armed groups because of the porous borders there. And the UN was looking for a battalion to send there. And we rose to the challenge and we said, yes, we'll deploy there. And so on 23rd May 2015, I deployed with my battalion in Bira. It was not easy, but we did it. We trained for it, we were prepared. Upon arrival in Bira, we adopted a no-nonsense, aggressive and robust posture, and we made our presence felt. We faced a lot of operational challenges, as I've mentioned. The place was teeming with a lot of armed groups. So the first thing that I did was to bring these armed groups under control.
The battalion has since undertaken several operations in the area of responsibility.
Basically, the clincher of this of our occupation was the way in which we handled forcible deployment of pro-government forces supported by Sudanese and Chadian soldiers. It's important to mention that the community refused this deployment and went up in arms. And at that particular time, we had just spent a month on the ground, and we had to do a lot of mediation. Things got a bit worse the following day when we received additional information that more than 100 plus Sudanese groups had crossed the border to reinforce their colleagues who were by now under siege by the Seleka rebels. And these colleagues who came in equally were found an ambush waiting for them, a 3-kilometer ambush, and it was with this background that we had to do a lot of mediation. And we thank God, everything went on well, and we managed to see the peaceful withdrawal of these forces. In line with our protection of civilian mandate, the manner in which we handled this specific operation saw the population getting very open with us, and we saw them accepting our deployment, seeing that we had their interests at heart.
Birao being where it is located, it has a lot of factors that influence its security situation. The first one is that Birao is located just 65 kilometers and 85 kilometers from the border with Sudan at Amdafok, and also 85 kilometers with the border with Chad. These two countries that surround Birao themselves, they are not at peace. There are a lot of armed militias that ply around this general area and the countries that surround Birao, such that during the dry season, the periods between November to April, these elements find themselves in Birao to conduct attacks on merchant lorries, attacks on the civil population, and equally conduct armed banditry robberies. And also equally, these borders, they are not manned, they are porous, and so everyone can walk in and out. However, since Zambat deployed, we have seen a massive reduction of these factors that create an insecure environment in Birao, in that Zambat has been able to respond in order to protect the local population.
The successful deployment of MINUSCA troops in Birao town is one of the attainments Zambat 1 has achieved. Vakaga province had for a long time been without the presence of UN peacekeepers due to the volatility of the region, but the Zambian battalion, through its aggressiveness and robust posture, managed to deploy in this area, which is a stronghold of Seleka rebels, and has since managed to restore peace and build confidence among the locals.
Zambat 1 deployed in April 2015, serving 12 months in the most hostile and most dangerous part of CAR. Zambat 1 exceeded all expectations and became the go-to battalion for the UN leadership in CAR. Let's give them a hand of applause.
The Army Commander, Lieutenant General Paul Mihoba, explains the history of Zambia Army's successful participation in UN peacekeeping operations.
Zambia has been on the UN operations for a long time. We started with Chad many years ago, and from there we've been to many other countries where we have brought peace or contributed to bring peace to our brothers and sisters. And we've fared very well. And for this mission, it is even a plus because we have done extremely very well, as we are hearing from the the people that are on the ground, authorities, including even the United Nations headquarters, have commended the Zambian troops who have fared very well, I must say. So we are spot on, and it is a job well done so far.
Among the notable achievements that the 1st Zambian Battalion scored in the mission area include the declaration of Birao as a weapon-free zone in an operation codenamed Mingoa, which came into effect on 21st December 2015.
Birao was heavily infested. Almost everybody in Birao is a rebel. Almost everybody in Birao has got a weapon. And so controlling and bringing this under control was a success. Right now, Birao, we have declared it a weapon-free zone. Nobody in Birao carries a weapon. You can walk freely. Even at night, you can go to the market, sit down, drink some coffee, drink some Coca-Cola. Things which was unheard of before. But today, it is possible.
The battalion also provided logistical support during the first and second rounds of presidential elections through the distribution of electoral materials and providing security in the area of responsibility.
The National Electoral Authority had employed the local agents who also provided security to them, because those are the people who are very much threatened by the violators. In our area of responsibility, the whole country, Zambian area of responsibility recorded the best. In the first round, we recorded 80% for the all polling stations that were. In the second round of elections, we managed to record 100%, which was good for us.
On 18th February 2016, the Zambian Battalion intercepted Central African Republic troops who were reportedly withdrawing from their post in Amdafok after a mutiny.
This was a major operation in itself, in the sense that we had 65 armed soldiers withdrawing from their battlefront, and to disarm them between 22 hours and 03 in the morning. It was not an easy operation, but we managed to get a lot of weapons, like AK-47 rifles, assault rifles. We had medium and light machine guns, we had mortars, we had the RPGs, and more than an adequate number of ammunition.
The troops were withdrawing from a tripartite mixed force consisting of Chadian and Sudanese troops who were actively operating along the borders of the three countries.
So it gives us great pleasure to see the development that has risen out of our presence here in Central Africa and in Birao in particular. Schools are now operational, hospitals are functioning. We've now got a government official in the provincial minister's office, and things are moving. The people of Birao have got a lot of hope that civilization will come to them sooner than they expected.
I feel so proud to be part of this great achievement. Our mission wasn't easy. It demanded a lot from us, mostly courage, dedication to duty, and selfless. It wasn't easy as per se, but I'm so proud to say we did it. We had a task, and that's what we are. We are peacemakers.
So I caught up with the battalion second in command. I wanted to find out from you, sir, what do you attribute to the effectiveness of the troops in this mission area?
Well, as a battalion second in command, I can say the success recorded by this unit, the effectiveness of this unit has been attributed to the high levels of discipline among the troops, which they acquired during pre-deployment training. A lot of skills were imparted to soldiers prepared to come and work in such an environment. So
It is for this reason that the battalion commander recommitted his battalion to achieving the UN mandate.
Therefore, as we stand here this morning to receive our medals, we want to take this opportunity to recommit ourselves to achieving the mandate of MINUSCA. I want to extend a warm Zambian welcome to the Sultan of Vakaga, Mr. Amat Mustafa Agambo, whose advice and words of wisdom have been key in helping Zambia perform.
Les bataillons Zambat, ils sont actifs à leur travail pour la sécurité dans la ville, avec la population. Pas de problème entre eux, ils sont bien, ils se changent avec eux des échanges de paroles, nos mots de sécurité, il y a toujours, il n'y a pas de problème. Ils ont quand même essayé de nous faire la lumière dans la ville, l'électricité, et avec tout ce qu'ils sont en train de faire, ils ont fait des bâtiments, des écoles vers Boura. Et c'est moi, j'ai promis qu'on va mettre l'école de Boura avec le nom des Zambat. Oui, même ils ont depuis le forage de l'eau, vraiment c'est très intéressant.
In the quest to bring peace to the Central African Republic, the Zambian battalion faced a lot of challenges, such as poor road network within the mission area, but it provided social services, among them medical and education assistance to the local people.
Roads are very bad in our area of responsibility. We are specially deployed, so we need to support our colleagues who are in distant places. This has an effect on our equipment, since we need to operationally and logistically support our colleagues who are positioned far distant from where we are. So this definitely shortens the lifespan of our equipment. So we need to frequently service and maintain the equipment so as to administer our colleagues far distant from where we are.
When we arrived at this place, we found a system that was a health delivery system that was very rudimentary. The services that the group provided were not up to the standards that we expected of any health delivery system. The general population was not very confident in the services that we provided. Through our technical assistance, we've managed to raise the standards at least up to acceptable levels. Though of course there's still a lot of work to do. We're continuing in that process. Someday we're going to reach there. So far so good with the services that we provided.
The Joint Task Force Commander in Bangui, Brigadier General Francis Kasempa, spoke highly of the troops.
As I moved in the city of Birao, I could hear, I could see the confidence that the people have in Zambatwan. If there is anything that a contingent can ever do in a place like this, which is a stronghold of a rebel faction like Ex-Selega, and be able to live amongst them, it means that the people have accepted the professionalism that the contingent has displayed, as well as the belligerents have seen the professionalism. And indeed, you have come to understand that Zambatwan has come here not to play around, but to take care of the most important point in the mandate, which is the protection of civilians.
Je voudrais savoir quelle est votre impression concernant le travail que fait les bataillons zambiens dans votre préfecture.
Je vous remercie beaucoup pour cette question. Je suis content, je suis satisfait par rapport au travail que mène le bataillon zambien pour assurer la sécurisation de la population, protéger la population et ramener la paix dans la préfecture de la Vakaga. Ça fait depuis plus d'1 an que je suis là et l'arrivée du bataillon zambien coïncidait aussi à mon arrivée ici. Au départ, ce n'était pas facile, mais maintenant, chacun peut partir librement à ses occupations. Les gens peuvent vraiment circuler sans être agressés. Donc, progressivement, la paix dans la préfecture de la Vakaga.
Zambia Army Commander Lieutenant General Paul Mihoba visited troops in the mission area and commended them for raising the Zambian flag